fellow students. My name is Cynthia Mock, and I'm here to explain to you how I created this birthday card for my mother. As you can see on the emulator, I created a happy birthday mom card by using actually four different views in a view group, and those four views were arranged in such a way that they were aligned so they would stay relative to the parent and create what we call a responsive design. So let's go ahead and take a look at the XML while I explain to you the changes that I made to the original birthday card example to make this new, I consider, better designed card. So let me put this aside and take you into the XML. The first thing I did was create an image. So I actually went into Photoshop and I took a picture of what was outside my office and I brought it in and I colorized it so I could use it as a background picture for this card. Once I was done, I dropped it into the Drawables folder and put the XML code right here on the screen. So I put on my image view, I put Android SRC, which means source, equals @drawable birthday card without the file extension, and it replaced the old Android birthday card with my birthday card image. Now I left it at match parent, and center crop so that it would basically bleed over the edge and it would be full frame no matter what you looked like on the phone. And then I had to put in my other text views. The happy birthday mom, the little bit of text I wrote for her, and who it's from. All three of those pieces inside those boxes are different text views. Now, what I did with the text view that says happy birthday mom is I aligned it. I used Android align parent right equals true and Android align parent top equals true to place that view in the top right hand corner of the display. Then I added padding of 20 dp to it to give it kind of a box to live in. So I added padding because I wanted to give it a border. I wanted to give it a border instead of having the background bump up against it. So I'll show you what that difference looks like right here. I'll type in layout, sticky fingers, layout, margin equals 20 dp, and what you're going to notice is instead of having that nice box around here, it kind of kicked it out from the edge, and now there's no box holding the text, which graphically kind of looks bad. So I'm going to change it back to padding, and I'm going to use padding on all of my other text views. So there I have. I've put in the padding, and it makes it look like the text has a nice background and a little bit of space for it to breathe. Now, what I did with the coloring is I made sure that there was a good amount of contrast. Because we already had a blue top bar that was sort of programmed in when we opened the file, I went ahead and made the background blue and the text white. The reason I made the background blue and the text white using hexadecimal numbers is because I wanted to make sure that there was good contrast and that it was readable on the screen. Also, you'll notice in the background image I used blue and purple and yellow, so that color would pick up fine with the background image. I also changed the Android font family to serif to give it that nice serif feel. What you don't know or haven't had explained to you before is that serif fonts have nice rounded corners and little edges to them that sans serif fonts don't have. Sans serif means without the serif, means a straighter, more unlike Times New Roman font, more like Helvetica than Times New Roman. So I changed it from a sans serif font to a serif font that went ahead and had all the nifty little edges and corners to it. And I did that consistently across all three text views. Now, if you get down to the second text view, which I actually have third, the second text view has the same changes as the sans serif font, only instead I have a background color that is pure white and a text color that is pure black. And just like the other text view, I have the padding at 20 dp. And what it gives us the feeling of is having an actual placed proper box to give us good visuals on it. If I took away that padding and used margin instead, it wouldn't exactly work right. Now, what I want to show you about placing this one is these two tags right here. When I wanted to align this box, I wanted it to show up in the center of the phone every single time. So what I did is I said Android align parent left, so it flushed it left right here. And then Android layout center vertical true. And so it was centered vertically no matter how long it was within the parent. So what I've done here is I've put mom up in the top right corner and this centered and aligned to the left. And what's going to happen is as the screen gets bigger, it's going to give us more of the image between these two things, but it's not going to change the layout as they are relative to each other. So this should show up all right on a tablet. This should show up all right on a phone. So it is definitely a truly responsive and relative layout. So the last thing, I changed the padding also. I duplicated my styling from the first text view to make it serif font and to give it a blue background and make it white and to make that very dark so that it can make sure that it has enough contrast to be able to be readable. I aligned parent bottom and I aligned parent right to stick it in this bottom corner, so it will always stick in this bottom corner. I made the text of it a little smaller than it was in the demo because I wanted it to be less emphasized. I wanted happy birthday mom to be the thing that jumps out at you, and then I wanted the text that has the paragraph in it for my mom to be a little bit smaller. And then down in the bottom, the from Cindy is larger than the paragraph, but smaller than the happy B-Day mom, and that's to keep with the rhythm. So as you can see, there was a lot of styling. I used hexadecimal numbers, like I said before. I want to show you guys one more thing. One thing I learned from looking it up on the internet, because I kind of wanted to see how to do it, was I learned how to apply a transparency to the background of it by adding two numbers to the beginning of my hexadecimal number. So right now it says text color 00000. I'm going to put a 90 in front of that. And what it's going to do, oh, I don't want the text color. Whoops, sorry. I put the 90 in front of the wrong thing. I want it in front of the background. So I'm going to put a 90 in front of the background. And notice how it makes it just a little bit transparent. I didn't like that when I looked at it displayed on the final version because of the really, really colorful background. So I took it out, but I wanted to go ahead and show you guys how to do that. Okay, well that's a walkthrough of the design elements that I used to create my birthday card. Let's go ahead and hit the play button and look at it on the screen. So it says, "Happy birthday, Mom. The ground I walk on is my mother's sure step, her solid step that has supported me throughout my life. I will continue to walk in honor of her. I hope her many more happy days." From Cindy. And you can see how it kind of works. I would change the color of this a little bit, but because this is kind of a different color, but there's nothing I can do about that. But anyway, so you can see how it is a relative layout, and it shows up in the center and in the corners. And that's my birthday card. Thank you. Have a good day. Hello.